Welcome everybody to this channel where I will be uploading astrology content. So first off, I just want to say thank you all for being here and welcome to the channel Ascend Above. I'm Austin, and if you're newer to the channel, I also run a tarot channel by the name of Austin's Tarot. So anyways, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into this week's astrology. It's going to be the astrology from February 27th through March 5th, and I definitely have been very interested to share this week with you all. Not that anything major is going on or anything like that. I mean, there is some pretty cool transits this week, but the more major stuff's coming up whenever, Saturn comes into Pisces and Pluto comes into Aquarius, which we will be touching upon in later videos. So, but let's just go ahead and jump in here. So, interesting enough, I feel like this is like one of those weeks to where it's like your big brother kind of gives you like a pep talk or kind of gives you like a reality check, but it's like very motivational at the same time to kind of change things or become more serious or have a more serious attitude toward life and to really go after the things that you want. So let's jump in here. We're going to just start off with February 27th here. Now, this is going to be a very moon day. The moon's going to be making some aspects here. Moon's going to square the sun. Moon's going to sextile Venus. And we also have moon sextile Jupiter. And as we go along through this video here as well, I will be bringing up charts and we can kind of look at some of the charts for some of these days here. I just didn't get all the charts here, especially for like the moon transits. I'm still working with this software and I'm still kind of understanding this. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump in here. So the 27th of February, this is going to be a very lunar day to me personally. So we start off the day with the moon square the sun, and then we have, like I said, moon sextile Venus and then moon sextile Jupiter. It starts off really with the moon squaring the sun as our conscious and unconscious mind at battle with one another. And so I always look at this transit of the moon as this too shall pass, to where we can feel emotionally upset or there's emotional difficulties or maybe we're feeling a lack of fulfillment. Just realize usually after exact orbs of transits with the moon, it usually takes about 2 hours for them to come off. So, because the moon moves 1 degree about every 2 hours. So just realize with the moon square the sun. Now, I don't really know your time zone, so you're gonna have to look up your time zone. I know Central Time, and it's happening like very, very early, like midnight, like not midnight, but like in the AM. So I don't know what time zone you're in, so you may want to double check that. But just realize whenever you feel the emotional discomfort, this is something going on with the conscious and unconscious mind, right? The conscious mind, or our conscious awareness being the sun, right? And then the moon represents our unconscious. So this is the conscious and the unconscious trying to get on the same page. However, there's a difficulty. And with the sun being in Pisces, Pisces is more so of in-depth, going deeper, the depths of things, letting go, surrendering, allowing, trusting your intuition, allowing a more abstract way of things to happen. And the moon in Gemini, right? Because these are two mutable energies that are squaring each other. The moon and Gemini wants to know the information, wants to understand how to piece things together and understand things. And Pisces is a sign of to where it can mean a lot of different things, right? And there really is no definitive conclusion with Pisces, right? Pisces just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and without really wanting to settle on any conclusion, right? So just realize that this is your unconscious and your conscious mind. I always look at this transit as well as a great time to meditate, to understand like what's going on with you internally, and then you can incorporate that into your conscious awareness the best that you can, but also realize that it's not going to last very long, this transit, right? So, but then the rest of the day gets pretty good. Moon sextile Venus is definitely bringing a more benefic energy. It's definitely bringing a more positive, uplifting energy, especially with the moon being in Gemini and Venus being in Aries. This is a great time for socializing, great time for getting out and doing something that you truly enjoy, or just doing something that you enjoy and really partaking in the beauty of life with the Venus energy, and something that makes you feel like empowered, makes you feel, makes you feel good because of Venus. And then the moon sextile Jupiter, which is which is amplifying this energy to me. Jupiter is a planet of increase and positivity, and the moon making a good angle to that will, our emotional world today on the 27th, and the things that we're preferring all seems to be in alignment with good energy as the day goes on. So I like February 27th, even though it's a very lunar day. So things are going to fluctuate quite a bit, but more than anything, it has a very good positive energy to it, in my opinion. So February 28th. So we'll go through the 28th here, and again, it's another moon day. And then once Venus is getting very close, though, it's inching its way very, very close to conjuncting Jupiter. So, and we'll talk about that as well. This is where I was talking about like the motivational aspect of this week, to like really, 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 truly allow the positivity, allow the motivation, allow the inspiration to come through you, and allow and let it allow you to become more optimistic, let it allow you to be more bold, assertive, let the confidence come through. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just touching on some brief things about that. But February 28th, the moon will conjunct Mars. And Mars is a planet of like pure energy, right? Mars is, we want to take action, right? It's about assertiveness, direction. And the moon conjunct Mars on the 28th, the moon being our mind, right? Our emotional world. We're going to want to take action on things. And these are both, Mars is in Gemini, the moon's in Gemini. So we're going to want to understand things, and we're going to want to take action based upon what it is that we know. However, one thing to pay attention to with this day is the moon square Neptune. And I always look at moon square Neptune as when things can become distorted and we don't even realize it, right? Because Neptune is a foggy kind of energy, is a foggy kind of planet in a way, to where it can cast illusions, especially with it not being in a good angle, right? Square. So it could cast an illusion, or we can be misled by our emotional world, right? With the moon. So it's important to double check things on these days, or on this day, sorry. It's important to double check things on this day, to really look at what's true and what's not true. Don't get misled. Don't get manipulated either. Moon square Neptune energy, people can be very manipulative. They can try to distort things. And just overall, don't let your mind create false illusions as well. So just pay attention to that and be aware of that. Be aware of what's going on with your emotional world and your mental state. And then as the moon starts to trine Mercury, we can start to understand things a little bit more, especially because Mercury is in Aquarius. It's about to come into Pisces, and we'll talk about that as well. But the moon in Gemini, trine Mercury in Aquarius, there's confusion at first during the day, where we're going to want to take action, but then it's going to feel kind of confusing, or maybe we made some mistakes, or maybe we, weren't seeing things too clearly or understanding things too clearly. But then it's almost as if we figure it out again with moon trine Mercury. We understand it fully. So yeah, that's what I'm getting for February 28th. And now we jump into March. Can y'all believe that it's already March? Can y'all believe that it's already March? We're going to go to the chart here that I have. You have to give me one moment though. But March 1st, Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter. This is like the motivational energy that I was talking about. It is going to be bringing a very happy, very optimistic energy, and kind of like a happy-go-lucky energy, in my opinion. Even though Chiron's in the mix, and we'll talk about this, because I do feel this could work for you or against you, and I'll explain here in a moment. But there is going to be an increase in passion, increase of confidence, self-esteem, really wanting to go after our desires, and just overall, again, a positive energy to look forward to and embrace. But we'll talk about Venus being very close to Chiron and how you might be feeling this energy a bit. But Venus won't conjunct Chiron until the next day, I believe, or a couple of days after. I have to look. I'm just looking at the transit list here. So, but anyways, so look forward to that on March 1st. And also we'll have the moon trine Saturn. So our minds and what we're going to be preferring is to get things into order, to become a little bit more serious or organized, or to come up with an action plan. Things will become more grounded during this day as well. for us to implement what it is that we're feeling and that we're thinking about. And then later the moon will come into Cancer. But let's go to, well, actually, yeah, I guess we could go to the chart. One sec. Let's go to the chart. All right, let's switch this over to here. Boom, look at this. Okay, so let me pull up this drawing thing here. Okay, so you see all this Aries energy down here, right? So this right here. Whoop. So here's Venus, right? Here's Jupiter, right? Conjunction happening right here on March 1st. So this is the energy I was just talking about. And then Chiron's right here too. Now Chiron represents our deepest wounds, and it also can be our greatest gift too, once we understand what's going on with us. And with Chiron being in Aries, I really see as the wounded warrior, to where Aries is a planet of self-determination, bravery, confidence, courage, and Chiron is the wound that's there. And also Aries deals with our individuality and personality too. And so we could feel a lack in those areas, to where we can let the mental side, or not the mental side, the victim side of Chiron come into our lives, right? To where we just feel like we're never going to get, what it is that we want, that we're not capable, that we're not good enough, that we lack the courage or the strength or the bravery or the passion or the energy, with it being in Aries. And the reason why I said, but even though Venus is coming in, like Venus is here to help kind of pick us up, right? And Jupiter's there as well. So I get with this energy that you can fuel the side, especially because Jupiter, I look at it as a planet that it's amplification, it's increase, it's fueling something, right? So with Venus coming in, it's like it's fueling all the great things to enjoy and to partake in that really makes us feel alive. But with Chiron there, we can fuel a wound. So that's what I was talking about with the opposite ends of the spectrum here. It's like where the Chiron energy will be there regardless. And it's like, you ever this is like a cool example, but you ever kind of come across a motivational video, and let's just say it's like a day to where you don't really feel too great. You kind of feel like, you kind of feel kind of down in the dumps, or you just lack you're just lacking motivation and inspiration, and you just kind of feel like you want to give up. But then something motivational, or like a motivational video comes along. That's kind of like the Venus Jupiter energy on Chiron. It's like wanting you to get up and try again. And also that, and Chiron too is like also realize that not everything in life's going to be perfect, but you can always make the best out of your circumstances, and Jupiter's there to teach you that. And Jupiter is a planet of wisdom and learning and the higher mind and intelligence, and so we can learn about our wounds here with Chiron, and we can use them to empower us rather than let them take power away from us. So that's what I really wanted to touch on, because we're already going to be feeling this energy, even though Venus isn't exactly on it, right? Because you can see the degrees down here, 12 and 13. Eventually it will, but you will be feeling this. It's a 1 degree orb. So let's go back to my face. All right, let's see here. Boom, there we go. Let's pull this up. All right, so let's actually, 1 second. Let's go into this. I may edit this, or I just may keep it live and raw. Y'all let me know how y'all like it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Moon trine Saturn, again, our preferences in our emotional world is going to be geared toward, really easily wanting to come up with a solution and game plans with Saturn, because Saturn is a planet of structure and stability and, seriousness, if you want to say, too, of getting things in alignment, getting in order, understanding things. So that looks good. And then the moon will come into Cancer, to where the moon's at home in Cancer. However, it is going to be squaring all that Aries energy that we were just talking about. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. And I don't think, well, anyways, let's just go to the next thing here. So March 2nd, Mercury conjunct Saturn. So this is what I was talking about, like the big brother energy, right? Because Mercury can rule like our siblings, and I'm just kind of going off on a tangent here, but Mercury can rule like our siblings, right? And Saturn rules authority figures, right? So, and Saturn can also represent like the father or just any type of authority figure, honestly. But Mercury conjunct Saturn is like, all right, it's time to get our ducks in a row and start to truly understand things here. And so it will be bringing like a more realistic outlook and a more serious attitude about what it is that we need to do and what it is that we need to pay attention to. This energy can also as well cause stress and anxiety if you've been out of order with things, right? I'm sorry I'm looking down here. It's because I have like two cameras up here. So anyways, but it could definitely bring an energy of anxiety, stress, and worry, because if we're unorganized and it's Mercury conjunct Saturn, we're going to feel a ton of responsibility to organize things and understand things, and it could definitely cause that energy to happen. But just realize like these are just serious responsibilities or things that we need to just really do for ourselves, and decisions possibly that need to be made on March 2nd. And then it's weirdly too, I'm going to pull up the chart again, weirdly too, that Mercury is going to conjunct Saturn at 29 degrees here of Aquarius. And then it comes into Pisces the same day. So Mercury comes into Pisces the same day. So it's like there's a moment of seriousness. And then it comes into Pisces. The seriousness is still there, but it's almost as if we can kind of let that pressure ease off, because Pisces is more so of like a relaxed type of sign. So we'll talk, actually, let me pull up the chart here. And so the energy will kind of still be there, I feel, is like the seriousness, but then Mercury coming into Pisces later on will be like, okay, let me just like relax a moment, and the pressure will sort of ease off a little bit, and we can sort of become more deep and thoughtful about not only how we're understanding the pressure possibly that we feel, or just the seriousness of the moment, but we can also find a way how to do things a bit more easier, I guess you can say here. So let's talk about that. 1 second. And then the moon's going to be doing a ton here. So let's see. Let me kind of pull up the chart because I want to show you this really quickly. 1 sec, y'all. Let me pull this up. Oh, I may have to do this actually. Okay. Yeah, here we go. All right. So let's go here to March 2nd, and I'm going to show you here Mercury conjuncting Saturn. See that? That's the serious energy. That's like, you know what I kind of see this as? This is going to be kind of funny, but you ever been like, you know how your mom tell you to clean the home or clean the house, or your dad tells you to clean the house, and next thing you know, they're on their way home and you didn't do anything, and you're like, oh shit, I got to do something. That's Mercury conjunct Saturn. So, but anyways, that's just a fun example. But let's see here. But anyways, so Mercury, as you see with Saturn, is at that last degree, and so any planet at the last degree it brings a pressure with it. So don't let your mind drive you crazy, or don't allow yourself to slip into a bad energy or bad mood, or or to have a poor attitude about the day. Because realize as well, because about later on during the day, we'll see Mercury come into Pisces down here. So this is what I was talking about. But however, you see this moon over here in Cancer. We're going to talk about this as well because this is happening during the same day. So it's going to square all this Aries energy. And so like I was saying about where we could be feeling the lack of encouragement or the lack of motivation or inspiration, or just feeling like even still like things aren't good enough, or we're not good enough, or there's still something missing. You got to let that go, and you have to understand this Chiron energy that's causing that, because Venus conjunct Jupiter will bring in the positive energy for sure, 100%. But if you haven't addressed this Chiron energy, then there can be a problem to where you won't feel as satisfied. The satisfaction will still be there, but you won't feel as satisfied, or you'll still feel some type of way about things. But anyways, so let's actually go back one slide really quickly and we'll talk about that. And I always look at Chiron as it's the key, right? So Chiron is there to show you like what is going on and that needs to be addressed and learned. So that way when you learn about it and you see your limitations and you see how you can improve them and how you can get better, then that's when you really start to unlock the gift of Chiron. Not only that, you can help others as well. So let's go back here. Let's go back here. Okay, so you see this moon in Cancer down here? Now, due to the transit that I have here, the moon, well, I don't have like the exact chart of this squaring, but it will square, and it will be happening more so like on the 1st. It just depends on your time zone. But moon in Cancer is like our inner world, our private world, our personal life that our preferences are going to be geared toward, or what our mind is going to be really subjective on. Because Cancer represents the inner world, our inner world, and our comfort. And sometimes the moon in Cancer can have a hard time, because moon in Cancer has very strong preferences and desires and opinions, but it's hard for them to let it out, right? So with the moon square all this Aries energy, it can bring an energy of us just feeling internally upset, right? Or we just have all this energy that's in us, but it needs to come out in a positive way, obviously. But it's like you want to use this energy, or not allow this energy to. You got to get outside of your comfort zone, basically. It's okay to be emotionally vulnerable as well. To speak up for yourself, to go for what it is that you want. You're going to have to give up a little bit of comfort, or just embrace uncomfortability, especially if you want to go to where it is that you want to go, or you want to enjoy what it is that you want to enjoy with all this Jupiter and Venus energy that's happening. So, and just keep in mind, I'm off the cuff with all this stuff. Maybe in the future, as we go along and do more videos, we'll talk about everything in the comments and stuff like that, and we'll, the videos will definitely improve. But I'm just willing to start, and that's what you got to do with Venus and Jupiter and Aries. You got to be willing to start, and you can't let Chiron energy stop you. So, and this is more so happening, just depending on your time zone, right? This is more so happening, I would say here, this is more so happening on the 1st, because you can see the time up here. Now, I live in Dallas, so that's Central Time, and you can see the moon's already pulling away from all this, so it's going to be happening March 1st, like very late in the day of March 1st, just before we go into March 2nd. So, all right, let's go to the next thing here. All right. But also, too, I just noticed that. One sec. We will have the March 2nd, we will have the moon trine the sun, and we will have moon sextile Uranus, too. So a lot of stuff going on with the moon. So emotionally, our feelings could be all over the place, to be 100% honest. Because we'll get the good aspect here whenever the moon makes a, okay, I don't know what the fuck this is doing. Here we go. Whenever the moon makes a good aspect to the sun, so, and as that happens, as soon as that happens later on that day, it's just going to be the moon squaring all this. So, and then like after it squares this, it's going to hit Uranus. So then it's like we can find a way to reinvent or to see things and understand things and feel things in different ways to create a better life for ourselves, especially because Uranus is still in the North Node here, and the North Node is all about, you know, this pull and change toward the future that we're all trying to create. And with it being in Taurus, it's more of an enduring, more prosperous life, more abundant life, more pleasurable life, the good life. And so with the moon, that's going to sextile this right here. We can find a way emotionally how to get our needs met, or how to find comfort in taking action toward our future. So, all right, let's get off March 2nd. Let's go to March 3rd here. So yeah, March 3rd, Venus will conjunct Chiron. And this is just like my list here that I have. So, one second, I'm actually gonna pull up the other chart here for y'all. All right, so here we are again. So yeah, Venus will conjunct Chiron, and that's what I was, I've already touched on that. You can feel some insecurity, low self-esteem, feeling like you're not good enough. So just be aware of that and realize that it's the Chiron energy that wants to be addressed. So one sec. Okay. And then let's see here. Where are we at specifically with time? Okay, we're almost done here. I want to make this video 30 minutes or less. So let's take a look here at March 4th. Now on March 4th, we will have the moon trine Jupiter as the moon comes into Leo. So moon in Leo, trine Jupiter, right? Moon in Leo, trine Jupiter in Aries. Happy-go-lucky energy, positive energy, wanting to go on an adventure. And then the moon will trine Venus, so really wanting to go on an adventure and enjoy things and have a good time. Great day for actually doing like recreational activities, or hanging out with friends or family, or just going out and having an adventure and doing something fun. And then we're gonna have the moon square Uranus, so you can kind of expect, the moon in Leo square Uranus and Taurus. You can expect some type of disturbance in a way, not like in a bad way, but just more so some type of unpredictable thing, just depending on where this energy falls in your chart. So you have to look at where all this is falling into your chart. And me personally, I use Placidus. I'm a Placidus astrologer. I use Placidus charts if I'm looking at my chart, because it's more accurate for me personally, that I found. So yeah, moon square Uranus, it'll just kind of be like an unexpected thing that possibly may happen. Uranus is one of those planets you're not really going to be able to predict it. So don't allow it to throw you off emotionally. Just understand that something, some things are just unexpected, and you just got to roll with the punches in life. And then March 5th, the last day here for the week, and I appreciate you all for being here, is we have the moon sextile Mars. And moon sextile Mars is just more so our energy and our mind and what we're preferring to do in our emotional state, and what it's geared toward is going to be wanting to take action on things, understand things. But it's going to give us the energy and the inception to, to take the direction of where it is that we're preferring to go, that we understand, and what it is that we feel in our heart, especially with the moon being in Leo. So But nonetheless, that's what I got for everybody for the week. I truly do appreciate everybody for being here. And this is my first video on this channel. This was actually a very fun experience for me. And I kind of want to know your thoughts down below. Do you guys like the raw approach here? And also, what do you think about the week here? What do you think about some of these transits? And one thing I will note and say again is that whenever I go through these, I don't know the time zone that you're in. So for me to talk about specific times, I could, which I may do in the future. But it's kind of been tricky to me personally because I'm looking at moon transits and I'm like, man, it's going to be so different for everybody. And moon transits, only last for about 2 hours or so, or whatever the case might be. So I may throw in the time, and then you'll just have to correlate that to your time zone. But I've seen some people like not even throw in the time. So anyways, but that's what I got for you all, and I appreciate everybody for being here and being a part of this new channel. I look forward to posting astrology videos on here, and maybe even other videos. I was thinking about like human design stuff as well. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to know about the human design. I'm not an expert in human design, but I do know a few things, and which I can talk about. But astrology, I am trying to be, I would say this channel will be mostly astrology, to be honest. And this is me working on my craft of astrology and being a aspiring astrologer. So thank you all for being here, and I'm wishing you all a great week, and I will talk to you all later.